Hi, Taurus. So I was doing a reading and then my computer ran out of disk space. So I just pulled it all up again because I don't think I can tell you the story yet. I don't know. So it was about temptation, it was about not being loyal, and it was about a divine partnership. Yep. And the masculine energy chose, well, chose desire over unconditional love. So, with that, a little bit of background, we'll get started. Thanks for being here, by the way. David. So, this is the Promethean Oracle deck. It has a lot of historical and mythological and chakra stuff. It's kind of a mix. It's really cool. All right, so let's check out David here. So David is a creator. So he's under the chapter of being a creator. I just lost a spot. Oh my gosh. 66. So this is the mentioned biblical David, and most people's minds, if you mention biblical David, most people's minds go to the story featuring the Goliath or Bathsheba. Occasionally, some will recall his psalms. From a young age, David was a gifted musician, and he shared that gift, especially with King Saul, who was being driven mad by demons. David had a direct and open line to the source of his creativity, God, and he was unafraid of accessing the gifts that God had given him. Nothing stood in the way of his creative flow. A nun who taught at my grade school once told me that it was a sin to not use my God-given talents. I believe that this admonition applies to everyone. If you have a talent, there's an imperative to make use of it. Put concisely, if it's there, use it. Don't be afraid of what others think of your work, be it painting, writing, or music. Very few people are cut out to be the next musical or artistic prodigy, and that's not important. More important is the personal pleasure you take in your own creative process. Bathed in sunlight, David plays his harp in hopes of calming Saul's demon. Look to his quiet inspiration as you go on your own creative journey. If you draw this card, consider the throat chakra and how you can express your creativity. Saul's demon had been sent by God as a punishment for his disobedience. It is thought that the evil spirit was a mechanism for bringing David into Saul's life. So, what mechanism do you think brought somebody into your life for you to discover your own creativity or your own gifts as you help others sort out their demons? Wow. Totally different story. I like it though. Because it really is about self-empowerment, not about getting lost in a relationship and about wrong decisions. Because it must come back to us doing for ourselves. Doesn't really matter what other people do. Did you learn? Did you learn? That's a question. Now what? Now it's time to discover your own creativity, right? So this is a really pretty card. This is Pansy, and it's about reassurance. I like it. This is November 1st through the 15th, by the way. Sometimes when I jump in after the second or third take, I leave some stuff out, and I apologize for that. All right. It's as if you were here the whole time, right? All right. So the pansy is brought to you to reassure you that you are loved. Put your doubts aside and let your heart be at ease. The pansy signifies that you are loved by many. So, there's another message in here, but I'm going to let the cards play it out, okay? Oh, sorry about the bump. Okay. What do we need to know about the being able to create? Discovering our own creative and inspiration. So somebody here may be feeling a bit distorted or experience some distortion in energy, you know, like how people are brought to you to hurt you, or how people are brought to you to, or how you're brought to people to help them when they're hurting. And then you discover a part of yourself. So this is distorted energy, and it's Taurus or Libra energy. It doesn't have to be, but it's just what it typically represents. Excuse me, feminine. So not feeling creative. Not feeling creative, so unable to tap into the creative process because of the distortion that's going on around us. Okay? Next card. King of Swords. Ah, the lies, the wicked words we weave. King of Swords reversed is about, just trust me, I'll do it for you. I know the way to do it. I know all the information. You don't need to know. I'll take care of it. Yeah, we should never give our power away to anybody that says that. Nobody, no system. Anyway, maybe somebody here is learning about that. Because nobody can take care of what you need to take care of in your own life. It's giving our power away. And it actually does squish our creativity because we're putting in lower vibrations. And if we're hurting, if we're mad, we can't be creative. It can't exist in the same space either. High Priestess. Also, High Priestess reversed as well, we also can't tap into our higher self to be able to get the guidance that is required. The King of Swords, when he's reversed, getting back to that, that's an air sign. Any air sign doesn't have to be educated, kind of stoic, could be a judge, a policeman, a politician, but it's about manipulation. It's about getting you to do whatever they want with the words, with information, misinformation, okay? High Priestess reversed as they confuse us. It confuses us when we're in this distorted energy and we have trouble tapping into our higher self. You know, because they were saying that creation, David felt that creation came from God himself or the source, right? When you can't tap into source, you're following blindly what people tell you to do. What people tell you is real. We stopped trusting our own intuition, therefore it's been blocked. But there's reassurance here that you are loved. You're so loved that all you have to do is change your vibration. Stop looking at this and looking at what you're grateful for, the family you have. Maybe click it on this reading to go, oh, I get it. All the little things that are put in front of you to shift you may have been part of the plan the whole time, you see? So, Nine of Pentacles says, let me count my blessings. I may be single. This is feminine energy. It doesn't have to be, but the single mother. But look at what I can build on my own. Look at what I have built on my own. Look at how steady and stable I am to begin with. Pretty happy about that. And look at how my things are coming into fruition anyway. This is also coming out of this card right now is I can do so much more. Now we're back into the positive vibration, that place of creation, that place to be able to hear the messages that are being brought to us, not just the towers that are put in our way for us to change directions. It doesn't have to be that harsh if we're listening. Okay? All right, so 8 of Pentacles. So we went from the 9 to the 8 reversed. So this is a reflection of maybe how we got there by not, we know it's what we're working on day to day and not working on the right things, you know. So when this is upright, she's building her nest, she's building her home. Every day she works a little bit to make things better. So maybe she does a job where she's mastering her job, she's mastering her life. Maybe she's going to school for a master's. When it's reversed, we're not doing that. We're not being consistent. We're not being consistently building our lives. So it can also be financial loss, a loss of career. Because of this whole energy being blocked, being an distorted energy, allowing others to do for us when, you know, maybe something inside of us might have said, I wouldn't do that. What if they're not taking care of things? I always said, oh no, that couldn't be, because we blocked that intuition that was giving us signals, okay? It's the little voice, not the big crash. The big crash is, well, it's just to take it down because it no longer serves. Okay. Any more out of this one? Maybe one more here. Reverse. Okay, so I hear you. Okay, how can I build this when I'm not day in and day out? You know, maybe I lost my job. I have this, but feel like I'm going to lose it. Or I had it. Okay, it's like, yeah, I have stuff, but I don't know how I'm going to pay my next month's house payment or rent. Okay. There's no opportunities. Page of Pentacles reversed. There's no job offers or anything like that. So this is going back into that, what I don't have energy, right? Okay. We can't create when we're in that energy. Okay? Let's talk about, how did you get here? Let's look at it. How did you get here? How did you build it? Remember how it started. Did you have money back then? Were you against all odds then? Did you conquer it then? So there needs to be a reflection how this was built and not just about losing it, being afraid. Not just it's over. It's never over. Never over. Okay? Never give up. Get another oracle card right there. There are ways of getting everything you want. And starting it right now. Just have to get out of the lack and the fear, okay? Get into, oh, well, I remember when I was against all odds, when I didn't know all of those. Go back to your stories. Go back to how you made it. Go back to how the difficult times made you more resilient. Remember who you are. Remember. I love this. Monarch butterfly. This is about your instincts. You didn't doubt yourself then because you knew you were just going to do it. You hadn't suffered that loss, hadn't suffered the mistake. Like this mistake here. So what? I mean, I know it's hard, but you don't know. I mean, I'm not saying, we've all been going through this. It's a mistake. Now you understand how important it is to retain your power. Period. I mean, and that means not giving into the fear, not giving into what you lost, but what you have. Okay? It's just, at least I have the ability to rebuild. At least I have the ability to figure out a way to do this. You know? Back to, who are you? Monarch stays on track, and it confidently journeys. Why am I having trouble saying that? Along distances, following pure instinct. Look at the monarch butterfly to help you tap into your own instincts. You have an incredible journey ahead of you. Yes. How else were you going to get back to yourself if all of this hadn't happened? How else? It's like the demons. They were saying that Saul had these demons, and so he looked far and wide for somebody to interpret his dreams, and there was David. And David helped him find out who he was. While David had the opportunity to create. He was so creative. He could do anything. He did so many things. And many people were jealous, and they were really cruel to him. And he could have given up, but he didn't. He searched far and wide. He went his brothers threw him out. They threw him out of, he was an outsider. He was like the youngest. There's so many stories about David. You might want to look at some of the stories about David and what he went through. Yeah, he made a mistake with Bathsheba, and then he was thrown in prison. And he overcame. And there's a whole thing about David and Goliath. It's the same David. For David to come out in your reading is for you to knock it off. Get with the program. Get with your program, not everybody else's. Stand up, take a deep breath, and go, all right, suckers, here I come. Like the bull. Like the bull, Taurus. You got this. Never give up. Never say die. You got this. I love you.